Okay.
Okay, we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Time to Shine Happiness Show with the BBs. The BBs, Barbara Beckley and Barbara Ellis. Yes, I always look forward to Tuesdays because, first of all, just to be with my other co-host, Barbara Ellis, and second, to be with these wonderful guests that she always brings on the show. I just be like a little kid, like, yeah, another guest, another wonderful guest. So before we get into that, let me just introduce myself first because I know Barbara's going to ask me to do that.
You're a good student, Barb.
See, we're already happy and smiling. That's what we do. So my
Exactly.
name again is Barbara Beckley. My mission, I always want to say my mission first, is to help really every individual, but I really hone towards women, is to understand first of all, I call PPD, their purpose, passion, and drive in life. A lot of times, people be like, "Oh, I know it already." I said, "But sometimes we get, off to the side because we got so much stuff going on in life, and we really don't hone in to say, what was my purpose? What really should be doing here? What my passion is, and what's driving me." So I help you with that, and then once I do that, there's another part to it. I help you shine, as I say, my brand like a diamond in social media, one-to-one interviews. I had this show, other shows so you could just be out there just like, oh, I'm a diamond. So that's what I do for people, especially for women in life. So Miss Barbara Ellis, you tell what you do, and then we'll ask our guests to really say
Okay.
something.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, my name is Barbara Ellison, and I am your personality pro because personality drives reality. It affects everything in life, who we are with, who we are sitting against, who we're lying beside at night. So, all of those things. And I'm on a mission to have people have impact and influence, but to also earn income. So, what I do is I work with heart centered entrepreneurs to kind of tweak their messaging because so many entrepreneurs don't realize that their messaging also has a personality. And so I help them to tweak that personality so that they attract their perfect, their ideal, their most suitable audience and that they can talk to them and connect with them in the most effective way. So it is just absolutely so fun. And I can't know if you can hear my dogs behind me, but oh well, it's life. But anyways, I just want to invite Nerina to come on. Nerina has just been such a fun person to meet. And I have to tell you, we met in my little local restaurant. And I just said, I love your name because her name is Nerina Human and her brand is the Human Connection. I said, we need to talk. And from then we have talked several times. So Nerina, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Good morning, both Barbaras. I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be here. Yeah, we had the most amazing story, and I'll tell you a little bit about me in just a moment. But my daughter was actually selling her car, and we were trying to find a place where we could meet with her and go to dinner. And we found this itty bitty little restaurant in the middle of nowhere called Sam's. And Barbara just so happened to be there. So I don't believe in coincidences, but she said I was supposed to not be there, but she was, and she was the waitress, and she was delightful. And we started talking about coaching, and I said to her, "Well, I'm a coach," and she goes, "I'm a coach." So yeah, and then she was telling me about her show, and I said, "I'll come on." So yes, I think it's typically about life. You just need to be awake. There's so many things that are right there, and if you're awake to them, you'll see how they influence and they're available to you if you let it. My dad always says, "It's where you look, it's what you see." So I like that. So yeah, so my name is Nerina Human. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I thought it was a question. My background is in IT and computer science, and I've done that most of my life. And but I've always had a passion for people and process, always. And last year, in the middle of COVID, this incredible program came available through Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi. And I thought, you know what, let me just sign up for it. So I did. And out of that came a decision right before my 57th birthday. Yes, right that day. And I found my passion. I found the reason why I'm here. And that was to help women who are stuck. And because a lot of my audience come from women in corporate, I started just putting that out there, and I started collecting people that are similar positions than where I was. And I think the thing that really got me is the fact that some of these women I've seen and I've known for a while, and they're powerhouses. They were CEOs of companies, VPs. And when I had a chance to meet with them again, they were less than who they used to be. And I thought, what happened? What happened to these women? And unfortunately, I think that that's what happens to us many times in our lives. We become less than for whatever reasons. We go through divorce, we go through just life. And so my passion and my mission, and the reason why I'm doing this, is to help women unstuck. I feel like, I love both your vision and just what you stand for. And I feel like I stand for women, for the best part of them, for who they are. I'll make a stand for you. Even if you don't want to, I will help you make a stand for you. And of course, we need to look at things like, what is standing in the way for you becoming that person? Because you used to be that. So we need to unlearn a lot of things to get to that. Barbara, you're using this analogy about shining like a diamond. I think that's who we are. But some things life, and then we become a duller version of that. And you know what? I'm sorry, that's not okay. That is, for me, that is just not okay. I believe that God made us these incredible, strong women, and we have a purpose here. And playing small does not serve anyone. And I think sometimes we have to give ourselves permission so that we can give those around us permission to be the best versions of themselves. And I feel like my passion and my reason for being here is to ask the tough questions. And I don't have a problem with that. I'll say to you, I can see you're making these decisions. How's that working for you? And a lot of people don't like those questions. But that's what we do. We keep on doing the same thing over. It's the insanity theory. Like, how is that working for you? I see an opportunity in you. Let's get her back. Let's get that shining diamond back, so you can go do your thing. Life is so short, isn't it? So no playing small. Just like there's not enough time for that. So then the Human Connection actually started in 2012, but I did more consulting, business consulting. So it switched a little bit to personal development. And I was really lucky that I was connected with an amazing coach from Israel, Yali. And she asked the tough questions. And I'm so thankful for her. And I talk a lot about integrity in my training, in my one-on-one coaching, and I have 2 programs. But we talk about what is that integrity thing that's making you small, because we're out of integrity all the time. We don't even know we are. And I think the biggest where we're out of integrity is with ourselves. We make promises. We say, this year I'm going to lose 10 pounds. I'm going to say no. I'm not going to be a people pleaser anymore. 2 days into that, something happens. So for us to come back into an integrity and get that out of the way. So again, like, we can shine and do what we're supposed to do when we're, when we're on this planet and the time that we have. So that's what I do. I get to do that. And darn it, I'm really lucky to be able to do my passion. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to that.
Wow, you a powerhouse.
Oh, thank you.
And that's when the first time that Nerina and I talked, it was like, oh wow, we have similar, and that's one of the biggest things, is that we all can have similar missions, similar passions, similar visions, and yet we all say it slightly differently.
Yeah.
And that's one of the soapboxes that I get on is, and many times that I've done it, is, for heaven's sakes, get over yourself.
I love that.
It's about the message. Like one of my favorite sayings is that you don't know what you don't know. And that applies to us, but that also applies to the people that are out there.
Mm.
I could hear one little thing, and it could be one pinprick of information that all of a sudden, whoa, I call them instant downloads. And that changes the trajectory of someone's life because of something you said and the way that you said it.
Oh. Thank you. Yes, I am really fortunate. My parents are 85. I grew up in South Africa, was born in Namibia. So I have a really nice cultural traveled and lived a little bit in Australia and been in the UK, New Zealand. And I always say it doesn't matter where you are. We all want the same things. We just want to be happy. We want to be respected. We want to be able to pay our bills. And we want people and be healthy and have people around us who loves us. So it doesn't matter where you live. We all want that. And I love what you said, Barbara, the fact that we all kind of have the same message, but it's different. My dad always used to say, look at your thumbprints. So between the three of us, we all have different thumbprints. But even look at the two thumbprints you have. They're not the same. So we were made uniquely different. And it's that difference that we need to bring to the table. Because if we were all the same, oh man, that would be really boring, don't you think?
Yes. Oh, you're speaking my language. You're speaking my language, lady. I always tell people that your uniqueness is your strength, is your shining strength to the world. Because each and every one of us has a genius in us, special genius, special gift in us, and we have to that quirk, even if it's quirky or whatever. That's your uniqueness. That's your special gift. Because you can be reaching other people that might, relate to you. You draw to them, they draw to you, and then that's that powerful thing that happens in life. So yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. Oh, I love it. Love it.
Yeah, it's just funny how we, this is one thing I think that strong women do. We compare ourselves to other strong women and somebody loses. And I'm thinking, why do we do that? What are we comparing? And I mean, I do it too. She doesn't look like she has to lose 10 pounds. I know I do. So what? Can I show up today with my extra 10 pounds and just be an inspiration and a shining diamond and make a difference in somebody's life and have an extra slice of pie? What the heck? Who cares?
And it is so true. We get so caught up in the comparison, and so often, but it's all in between here.
Yep.
We beat ourselves up for all the things that we are not,
right,
rather than celebrating the things that we are.
Yeah, I remember you talked about that the little bit when we talked about your coaching. You did say something about the fact that we're looking at the missing components as opposed to all the things we are actually bringing to the table, and that is very powerful.
And so true, we need to do it. And and we can work on the things that we're not so good at. Like I'm right now working a little bit more at the tech stuff that I have not been. Like this morning, one of my experiments this morning was to try to use my green screen. Well, obviously, don't know how to use it totally to get the lighting, because it's all about the lighting. Yeah. So it was like, okay, fine. Yeah, okay, back to the drawing board. Because that's not my strong suit. But I'm learning. And so we can learn. And that is so important, that we can learn. And like my dad, he lived to be 102.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that was one of the things that he said, learn something new every day. Something new every day. Something that can challenge you. And it can be something little. Doesn't have to be a big thing. You don't have to try to change the world every day. Right. Absolutely not. But the one little thing that you do, you can change the world with.
And I think it's almost kind of giving yourself permission to kind of suck at it a little bit in the beginning, that to know that it's okay. we didn't all learn how to ride a bicycle the first time we
Nope.
got on. And some things will be more difficult for some of us. And I know for me, I need to unlearn a lot of things. I feel like at this phase of my life, there's, I come from a family, I always say we're the Excel gurus. All of us, my parents are teachers. And when we go on vacation, we have an Excel list for the food, whose turn it is to. I don't think we were a lot of fun, but that's my family. We're all like that. And I'm trying to learn to kind of let go. We don't need an Excel sheet when we go on vacation. We can just show up. And I'll tell you this story because it was huge for me. So just before COVID, I have a sister in Australia, one in South Africa, and we wanted to go visit my parents, and I'm a middle child. And I'm sure both of you know this, these labels we give ourselves. Oh man, it's the death of us. And it's sometimes just really good to say, enough. I don't want that label anymore. It's not who I am anymore. So as a middle child, I was always a rebel one, and it served me, and I paid a price for that. But I don't want that anymore. It's not who I want to be anymore. So of course, my two sisters and I, we get there, and I said to them, okay, who do you want to be on this trip? Who do you want to show up as? And my younger sister, who is perfect, she's just perfect. She did everything perfectly in the right order. She said to me, you know what? I want to be the rebel. And I'm like, oh, take it. I don't want that anymore. I said, I just want to show up as love. And I was so surprised. Like in the past, even with money, I would spend it maybe in a way to kind of show that I have it. I've, been fortunate in my careers. And it went away. I didn't feel like I had to impress anybody coming from love. I would pay for things if I needed to. I actually said to my dad, because I had different currency, I'm like, Dad, you keep it. And if I need it, I'll come and ask you. And I left with so much money. And I thought, you know what? I think if I was a rebel, my normal rebelness, I would have spent it. I would just spend it because I could. And I didn't feel like I had to because the energy was different. I came from a different place. So yeah, these labels are, I think if we're just aware that we do that, and then the fun part, you can actually change it. If it doesn't work for you, like my perfect sister was a rebel, and it was so amazing seeing her kind of having a little bit of an attitude there once in a while. So yeah, labels can be our friends, but it can definitely also harm us.
My husband passed away. It was so aware that I made me so aware that I had been living really a life of that not who I am. I was number 3 of 4 girls. I was the nurturing, outgoing person in a blueprint world, a very traditional, very structured world.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course married because that's what I was comfortable with. My first husband was very structured. My second husband was very structured. Well, when he passed away, guess what went out the window? Structure.
Yeah.
And I had no idea of who I was.
Wow.
What I was capable of. Who was I outside being the wife, the mother, and in my case, the divorced woman from my first marriage, then the grandmother, and who was I? Who was Barbara? And I had absolutely no clue. And I am so grateful for the coaches that I've had along the way to really help me. And Barb has been one of them to get me that we need to do something together. Okay. Well, then Barb gave me the opportunity almost a year ago. We are coming up on our anniversary.
Congratulations.
Yes.
And she called me up one day and said, Barb, you know what? I want to start a platform to spotlight women. And do you want to do a happiness show? And I said, of course, I would love to. However, part of my personality code is that I prefer to do things as a team. Like I like to do things in community. So I said to her, I said, I would love to. And would you like to be my co-host? And she went, but no, Barb, it's about spotlighting you. I said, yeah, but that's not part of my personality code, Barb. I don't want to do it by myself. That's one of the things that I have learned about me. And now I accept it in me. And I can do things on my own. And there's been many times where I have done the show on my own and I'm perfectly capable of doing it. But if I had to do that all the time, I wouldn't have lasted. It's not me. I like to be part of a team. So Barb came on and said, are you sure? And yeah, Barb, we're the BBs. And she even coined that phrase, the BBs. Oops, we've lost Nerina.
We totally lost.
We lost Nerina. Well, she'll come back. But you know what, Barb, isn't that absolutely the truth? That I have become so aware of who I am and what I want.
Barbara, I just, every time I see you, every time we talk, every time I see you doing so many things, it just I have tears in my heart of joy, because, and then because you inspire me. I tell you all the time, you inspire me and you inspire so many other people because you just, you showed how you can be in one place. So you know what? You don't have to stay there. Learn who you are and do it, and just do it. And you have been doing it. You have your own show now. In fact, you got 2 other shows because, unfortunately, a good friend of both of ours, really your best friend too, and now you took over that show too. It's like you're all over the place now.
I've taken over the Everyday Riches show and do have a new co-host. His name is Jason. I have a new co-host. His name is Jason, and we haven't really changed the format a little bit, but he's a sales. He is a sales marketing. Mm-hmm. So we are bringing a little bit more of the business, and yet we gel together. We have had some absolutely amazing conversations together. And so it's the Everyday Riches show. And so we've changed it a little bit, that we've changed the background of the thing, and we've changed the time. We've now moved from Wednesday morning to Wednesday afternoon at 3. Okay. And so, that has been a time that I've had to go on. And then my Barbara and Friends, I do that on my own. And that has been a fun thing to do. So, but it started with this show. This was the start of me doing a regular weekly show. And I knew back then that I would never, ever, ever have survived doing it on my own because it wasn't something. It wasn't me. So don't you love technology?
When it works.
Like, what happened? My Wi-Fi just glitched, but it came back. So, but I love what you say about. For me, it's almost one of the 2 programs that I do. We talk a lot about who's in your tribe, and sometimes we need to kick some people out of our tribes, and it's hard. But they need to go and play somewhere else, and we need to invite new people into our tribe. And it might be for a season. It's okay. It doesn't matter, and they can come back maybe. But typically, the people that we have in our tribe. I've seen such a cute posting on surround yourself with people that feels like sunshine. Now, both of you ladies are like that. You're just like sunshine. And we all need more of that in times and days that are just gloomy. I would always say like the UK weather where it's just like drizzling. I want my sunshine people around me. And to be able to bring somebody into your tribe that knows something you don't, that can just gently push you a little bit, like Barbara, we're talking about the technology. It almost gives us the permission to just dabble and become stronger and better. And then look at you now. You're now this, I don't know if there's a position available at a radio station, but look at you. Did you think you would do that a few years ago? No. Did I ever think I would be a coach? No, I thought those people were strange. But you know what? Our passion is to help people, and that's how hard. So why is that strange? I think it's very noble. And I think I'm really lucky because my resume of, I'm going to call them screw ups for lack of a better term, has given me a great opportunity to relate to people. So I feel like I don't come from judgment because I probably, whatever you're going through, I've probably done that. And so it just gives me such love for you going through that and being able to share a few tips of how did I screw it up, even trying to get through it, and what worked for me. And that way we can get you there sooner so you don't have to go through the long process. And all of our experiences are different. We all come with different stories, but we all have a story. And that's how we inspire each other, right?
Yes. I always telling people about how their stories in life are just like golden nuggets in other people's lives. And that's why I always don't hold back. I used to be a person, I was very shy. And I was bullied when I was younger. And people would be like, nowadays they're like, huh? What? Shy? Barbara?
Yeah.
Really? I'm like, I'm telling you, I have people can tell you this. But, I tell my stories through all the good and bad and the ugly because, like you said, that's hope for other people. That's a connection for other people. Because if they feel like that, okay, well, Barbara went through this, or the other Barbara went through this, or Nerina went through this, or whoever went through what I went through. Oh my God, I'm not alone.
Right.
And then we can help them to move forward and cope with it and show, well, this is how I cope with it. I talked to Barbara, or, I went to a counselor, or I know all of us believe in God. I went to God. I was talking to him, me and him, a lot of conversations in a lot of ways when I was dealing with stuff. I said, okay, Lord, I got to talk to you because this is not feeling good. I'm not feeling good. I'm not feeling good for myself. I'm not being good for others. So, when you go through, when you tell those stories to people, they're like, wow, thank you so much. Because I was just on the brink of, whatever. So, yeah. Stories are important.
No, you're absolutely right. And our stories are so uniquely us. When I visited Africa on my last trip, I have a cutout board, like a blackboard. And on there, I was going through a divorce at the time, and it was not a good time, and face planting time with God very often. And on there, I wrote, "What if nothing is wrong?" And I shared it with so many people, but I thought that this is wrong. God is not supposed to be like this. I'm supposed to be married forever. But I stopped growing in that relationship, and we weren't happy. And, we tried really hard. But if I look back now, it's almost 5 years. If I look back now, I can honestly say that who I am today and where I am really, really happy. And I'm not that person anymore. And I'm thankful because through the pain, we grow. And that notion of, well, what if nothing is wrong? What if this is all part of a bigger plan to get you to be that shining diamond, that be that bright person you're supposed to be, to help other people with your relationship, other than just being comfortable in the current situation? Because you guys know, we don't grow when we're comfortable. When you have a cocktail, in Hawaii, and that's what you do, that's where you're going to stay. You're not going to grow. It's through the valleys. We know that. So the notion of, what if the situation that I'm in right now is not wrong, but it's part of a different plan for me to grow and become the stronger me that has a purpose, and to find that. So now I'm like, well, what if nothing's wrong? That's one of my favorite ones that I do like. And one of the other things that I do with women in my coaching is we look at words, because you both know words have such an impact. And the way that we sometimes speak to ourselves is horrible. We say things to ourselves, whether we say it out loud or just in our heads. I wouldn't say that to my best friend. So why the heck am I saying it to myself? So in my coaching practice, I make sure I hear and I ask them, what are the 5 words that you say most often to yourself, to other people, so that they can see the impact and the power. And then we start and we flip them. We flip them with a different word that has a better outcome, a better, more positive outcome. But it's amazing how we speak to ourselves, not in an uplifting way at all. So it's a nice exercise to say, I'm going to see today, what are the 3 words that I use again and again? And if it's negative, I'm like, okay, Nerina, stop, just stop. take a deep breath, go have a cup of tea. I'm a huge tea drinker. Go have some tea, and then come up with 5 things that you are thankful for. And it's amazing. It just switches your brain. Thankfulness and gratitude. Oh my gosh. It just makes us look at things a little bit differently, doesn't it?
Right. That's it. One of the exercises that I do with people is I have them stand in front of the mirror.
Yeah.
And just look at yourself and just say, Barbara, I am so proud of you for.
Oh.
It is so hard, especially for women.
Yeah.
Especially
right.
for women.
Right.
Because we are kind of brought up, I don't know about you guys, but I think so many of us are, is that that's bragging. Don't brag.
Right.
Brag. Because, nice girls don't do that. Well, you know what? You can be a nice girl in the mirror.
I love that.
I am proud of you this morning that you made your bed.
Love it. I love it.
What it is.
Yeah.
Because when you get that, okay, so yeah, I did do that. I don't care if that's the only thing you did. That made you mad. But the next part of it is that, Barbara, I forgive you for.
Yes.
I love it.
Oh, I remember one time I was doing it, and one of the things that came up was from when I was a kid.
Wow.
With my mom. And it was like, where did that come from? But the thing is that most people don't realize how their brain works. Sometimes I do a whole lesson on how your brain works. From the time that you are 0 to 7, your brain is an absolute sponge, and everything goes in. Everything you see, hear, do, everything goes in. But then you start to get hardwired. And then as an adult, the thing is, though, those little things that you can hear when you're 7 and 8, they can come back to haunt you when you're 70. And it just, so I forgive you. And so that was where one of my big things, I forgive you, Barbara, for whatever it is. And that's where the tears are going to flow. And that's where that's disease. That's where you get these aches and pains, and all of a sudden your shoulder hurts. And okay, stand in front of the mirror and say, gee, you know what, my shoulder hurts. And okay, so Barbara, I forgive you for, and wait, and something will come up. That's where I'm carrying it. And then the third one is, Barbara, I commit to you. You're going to do something different. I don't care if it's one thing. Okay, and yesterday I was in my Bible study. And my pastor's wife, she said, yeah, I finally got to the point where I had to commit to washing my kitchen floor. And we so hard. Because we always have these expectations of how other people live. They're not going through the things that we're going through. Yeah, they are. So fun to hear her admit. She said, yeah, and it's been bugging me because she has 7 children. And she said, that has been bugging me that my floor, and she said, finally, I just said, for heaven's sakes, I've got to spend 10 minutes and just wash my floor.
Well, you know what, Barbara, thank you for sharing that, because I don't know why, but I have had such an issue vacuuming.
Okay.
What's the problem? It's just a vacuum. I have a cordless one. I have a little one. I have a big one. But do I vacuum? No. And then 2 weeks ago, I'm like, okay, what is it, Nerina? Take the vacuum and just vacuum. I give yourself permission. Just go vacuum. Okay. And man, did it feel good afterwards? I'm like,
afterwards.
It wasn't so hard. I don't know what made it so hard in the first place.
Nerina, I'm so glad you brought that up, because I've been having the same issue with the vacuum.
And I have to vacuum my floor too.
I've been like, why is it so difficult? Everything, it's like I've been going around doing everything else. And I still get back to, I need to vacuum.
Well, thank you for saying that, because but you know what it is too? It's shame. Like if we keep something to ourselves and we don't share it, and I'm like, oh, I'm such a bad person. I don't want to vacuum. What the heck's wrong with me?
Mhm.
And I think I've said it to a bunch of ladies, and like, we're going to keep you accountable, Nerina. You're going to vacuum. And you know what? That didn't help. It didn't help. I would take a broom. I would take everything else on my knees to clean. But would I vacuum? No. I would just find other ways to clean it. And at some point, I just had to ask myself,
What is it?
what is it? Just go and do it.
Do it.
I have an amazing woman. She's my age. She lives in Colorado, and she always says, "If you can't, you must.
Mm,
If you can't, you must."
mm.
So I had to.
I
I
like
had to
that.
vacuum, and it was great. And now it's almost like the sting is gone. Now I'm like, okay, I'm going to go vacuum.
Right.
There's no point of view about it. So if you can't vacuum, you must vacuum, Barbara. Just telling you.
Yeah, I must. You're right. Because right after we get off this call, I think I'm going to do that now that we're talking about it. It's now that I know I'm not alone. See, because you told your story. See, that's what I'm saying. It all connects.
And that way we give each other permission to be human, to make it okay, and just go. And I do this with one of, and I think all these tools are so amazing. And it's not like I'm that great and I came up with them. I just borrowed them from someone else.
Yeah.
And the word one too, and it, as a child, I remember I would lay on the lawn and I would look at these amazing clouds as they're coming and they're going, and just what a sense of peace that would bring. So I say to people, well, what are those things that are just they're just in your soul and you just don't like them? And then I thought, okay, I make people do these exercises, so mine is vacuum. So I'm like, okay, that big fat cloud over there is vacuum. There it comes. Oh, there it goes. And it kind of took the point of view about the darn vacuuming away. Now it's like, okay, I'm going to brush my teeth and just go vacuum and have a cup of tea when I'm done to just to reward myself. So it's the labels, it's the point of view. I just sometimes want to go, oh, okay, I vacuumed. I had tea. I brushed my teeth. So what?
Yeah. So
Lovely.
it's so important to some. And for me, one of the things for me too is that exercise your brain.
Mm.
And people say to me, "What? How do you exercise your brain?" I said, "Well, number one, brush your teeth with your opposite hand.
I love that.
Brush your teeth with your opposite hand,
Okay.
or brush your hair with your opposite hand."
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you don't have to try to style your hair with your opposite hand, but at least
Right.
your hair or do something with your hair with your opposite hand.
Huh.
And then practice writing for 10 minutes with your opposite hand.
Oh, God. You wouldn't understand anything, Barbara. It's like chicken scratch.
It'll be chicken scratch. The thing is that one day I was doing it, and I can write my name pretty good with my left hand. I've always tried to do that, to write my name with my opposite hand. Well, then one time I was like, gee, Barbara, I wonder if you could write for 10 minutes. Well, I was writing for 10 minutes. So I started out with, wow, oh, this isn't too bad. This is pretty easy to write with my left hand. And then it was like, oh, this is getting harder. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, this is tough. Yeah. And then it was like, oh, okay, so what am I supposed to be learning out of this exercise? And then it was, because I had set a timer that, oh, brother, okay, I have to persevere. So my lesson was that I have to persevere through doing something that is hard. And that was my lesson, because by the time I got to 10 minutes, it was like, and then it was because otherwise, you know what, I would have quit. I would have stopped at 5, but I had set the timer, and that was my commitment to myself, that I was going to write with my opposite hand and the last 5 minutes, I was physically hurting. And my arm hurt, my back hurt, because I was concentrating so hard to write that I could make it legible. And it was such a powerful exercise. And so now I have people do it. Kate, because people set a timer for 10 minutes and write with your opposite hand. And it absolutely brings forth something of a lesson will come from it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know, I think it's the commitment of, do you want to grow? Because at our age, we I guess if you don't really want to, you don't have to. You can just go into this comfort zone, have Netflix on, make sure you do what you need to do, and that's your life. But you know, I want to be surrounded by women who goes through lessons that have, like what you said about this big aha moment, and it's like, that was a childhood thing that just came up, and now I'm overcoming it. I want to be around people who are okay failing and then standing up, even if they're failing forward, it's still forward.
Yeah.
So a commitment to personal growth and development for me is really, really important. I love what you said. I'm going to go try and brush my teeth with my other hand. I love that. I used to do that with phones. You know, when we had the old phones, I would dial with the other hand. And it's just like, hey, now I can do that too. But growth, yeah, I think personal growth is very important. It makes you an interesting person. Who wants to talk about the same stuff over and over 10 years from now, right?
Yeah, but they were like, dang, Barbara, you're still talking about vacuuming. Why you haven't did it yet? It's been 10 years. What are you doing?
Exactly. I say that to people in my coaching business. I'm like, you know, first of all, this is a conversation of suffering. And I don't want to have this conversation in 2 years or 3 years from now. So can we do something about it now so we don't? But you know, some of us really like to be victims, and I mean, I do that myself. Like, oh, you know, poor me. But it's not pretty. I don't really want to be a victim. It's not. And again, Barbara, to your point about the shining diamond, we don't shine really well when we're in that victim mode. I say there's only two modes. You know, you're either the victor or you're the person that's going to come up with a reason why not. And I don't want to. I just don't want to. I want to find a reason to do it.
I'm like you. I mean, before we, end, because I know the time. But I like what you said about I don't want to be in doing this for the next 2 or 3 years. And I know a lot of people that, and I don't want, first of all, before I put this out here, if you need the counseling, you have to do what you have to do for yourself. Mm-hmm. But if I've been in counseling for almost 5, 6, 7 years on the same concept, then I have to really, really dig a little bit deeper and say, okay, why am I continuously on a yearly basis dealing with this one episode in my life? Because, and like I said, you can't stop. Just like I tell people when somebody passes away in your life, I never tell anybody when you need to stop grieving, because I'm grieving still for people in my individual life. And it's been over 10, 20 years. But I learned how to function, and I learned how to move forward, and I learned not to be a victim of it. Right. So I use it as a platform to give people the hope again, saying, okay, yeah, I'm dealing with it. Yeah, I'm sad about it, but I'm not letting it dictate my life. I'm not letting it dictate my life, because first of all, that person that passed away wouldn't want you to do that. See, when you have to think of it like that. Because I know my mother and my dad and two of my best friends that I love dearly, they won't want me sitting back saying, they'll probably any way they can come back down as a spirit and say, get up, what are you doing? I didn't do that. Why are you doing it?
There's a life to be lived, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's a life to be lived. Okay, I'm gone, but you're not. You got to keep moving, and that's what I tell people. Yeah,
that's the biggest thing when David passed away. The day I woke up, it was like, okay, Barbara, David died. You didn't. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And then it was like, well, I don't know. Okay, well, what is the first step was, okay, you got to find out what do you want? Somebody said to me, well, what do you want? And that it starts there.
Yeah. That's the journey. Yeah.
Who are you and what do you want? And okay, thank you so much for saying that. It is a journey.
It is a journey.
It's a never-ending journey.
Right. Yeah. That's a tagline for me. It's all about the journey. If we think it's about the destination, then it's like, I got it, I'm done. No, it's not. Like you said, it's not going to stop. When they come and take me home, that's when it stops.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. That's what
Yeah.
I'm about to say. When I'm
Yeah.
going bye-bye, when you don't see me on the show, when they're like, okay, Barbara's gone, I made it then. There's it. But
Yes.
until then, I want to keep on with the
Yeah.
journey. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Wow.
Absolutely.
We got to bring you back on, lady. I'm loving
Oh,
this conversation. I love this.
well, I love you guys both.
Yeah.
It shows me like different walks of life, but we're strong women and we just want to do better. I just want to do better. That's always my prayer. Like, let me just do and be better than who I was yesterday. And sometimes I need a day where I'm just not, and it's okay. And then I'm going to have that. My thing in life is potato chips. Oh man, I love potato chips. Pringles, salt and vinegar. Oh yes, life's wonderful. And I have a Pringle day. So okay, tomorrow you can't have another one. Then just go do your thing. So, but be gentle. We're not always so gentle with ourselves. And then the day after, go do your thing.
Yeah. And one of the things for me that we'll end on: celebrate the things that you do. We talked about it a little bit before. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
Celebrate it. Do a little happy dance. Yesterday, my daughter-in-law, she was throwing out this storage bin. She's like, I hate to just throw it out. And I said, oh, can I have it? I said, it will be perfect for in the back of my car to put some stuff in that I have in the back of my car. And she said, oh, so I cleaned out the back of my car, came in and said, okay, I had a really busy day on top of that. And so this was now 6 o'clock. I said, that's it. I'm done. I watched a movie.
I love it. Love it.
That's what it is, Barbara.
I watched a movie. And it was like, we have to do that. And so I said, I cleaned out the back of my car that had been bugging me. And it wasn't vacuuming. I still have to do that. See, but it's from vacuuming. But it was like, okay, now. So then it was like, and I'm going to watch a movie to celebrate. That was my way to celebrate that I had gotten this done from the back of my car.
Good
That's
for you.
Awesome. Good for you. You deserve that.
Yeah.
You deserve that. Yeah.
We don't. Women are not taught to celebrate our.
No, we're not.
We're not taught to celebrate.
And we have to.
We have
all the time.
Mm.
Wow, this is awesome. So, lady, tell everybody how to reach you. To get to really get this relationship going with you, because I know I want to reach you. In fact, we're going to talk after this.
That is absolutely. Well, it was such a gift just spending some time with you and learning about your wisdom. So I'll make sure that on the Facebook posting that my link is there. I feel like my gift is to spend time with anybody, because I hate to say it, but we all kind of have the same things, and after a while it's like, oh, I know that will help you. I can see that this is maybe an issue. So it's not, nobody has this unique problem that nobody has ever had before. So I love to do discovery sessions, and I'm offering that to whoever needs a 45-minute free session. I'll give you some tools. It's free. If I can help you, it makes me happy. So you can definitely, get me there. And I'll put my contact information on there as well. But my business name is The Human Connection, and then the number 2. And you can find me on any social media under Nerina Human. So would gladly connect and love to hear your story and see what we can learn from one another, right?
Yes, lady. So, Barbara, any lasting thoughts for everybody before we sign off for today?
Just remember to celebrate and practice your brain, exercise your brain. Your body, exercise your brain.
Right.
Love it.
Hand. Do something with your opposite hand.
I did it for 5 minutes while you two were talking. I was like, oh my God, this is getting worse. Perseverance.
Exactly. And accountability. When I speak to you guys again, ask me, did I write my name? Did I vacuum? So Barbara, I'm going to ask you too. Did you vacuum?
Yes.
Believe me, I already know you're going to do it. So I said, I got to do it now. It's like you said, it's a must. It's a must.
I'm good at that accountability thing. Yep. I will ask you.
Okay, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed this wonderful Thank you so much for, and I always call women, well, Barbara knows this, I call all the women Queen Diamond. So thank you, Queen Diamond, for coming on today to the Time to Shine Happiness Show with myself and the other BB. And our anniversary, as she said, is coming up. So we're really going to put on a special show, bringing some people back, and we're
Yeah.
going to have a conversation. I know this lady here is going to be part of it. So with that said, enjoy your day, keep smiling, make it the norm and not like the opposite of it. Like Miss Barbara always says, just make another person smile. Even with the mask, they're kind of coming off a little bit, but still being, I always tell people, even though they're telling us somewhere, still be cautious. And with that, we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.
All right.
Thank you, ladies. Have a great rest of your week.